Hello, it's me, Jaykob Wilson. And now, for my favorite humor, I'm gonna look on Pinterest for some Bertstrips. The citizens of Sesame Street look on in horror as a shooter aims directly for Ernie. Ernie is surprised at who he sees when he is called before the Illuminati. Telly is not even going to ask. Ernie fades from existence as Bert's acid trip comes to an end. Bert is angry at Ernie for convincing him to play Jumanji. Elmo declares fascism. Hey, Bert, remember when I said no homo after the 10-hour anal session? I lied. Bert and Ernie are unbothered by the news reports of the US killing a top Iranian general, further destabilizing the Middle East and pushing the world to the brink of World War III so the president can be reelected. After all, it was a good another day in the good old USA. As they pee in two urinals next to each other, Kermit and Grover awkwardly try not to glance at each other's junk. Elmo becomes increasingly more worried as the furries start to form a circle around him. Bert realizes his webcam was recording him and Ernie banging each other and streaming it online. As he is questioned by the police, Ernie attempts his most convincing, let me try to remember my face. Bert and Ernie unenthusiastically continue to watch the most boring Super Bowl. Ernie shows Bert a drawing of what his entire life amounted up to this point. Bert chloroforms Ernie so he won't have to put up with the constant nuisance. Ernie thanks God about changing his mind. Gays. I have to keep it down because there are people outside. Ernie starts homing his art skills when he finds out how much money there is in My Little Pony porn. Elmo and Maria firebomb the NFL headquarters in an act of retaliation for botching the Super Bowl halftime show and crushing the hopes and dreams of SpongeBob fans everywhere. Telly wakes up in the middle of the night to wonder if Joliet, Illinois is really that great of a city. Telly's first day as a sewer slide hotline operator doesn't go very well. Bert introduces his anime-loving cousin, Neckbert. Elmo viciously curses at his Uber for being 3 minutes late. Ernie does his solemn duty and dislikes Rewind 2018. He's so old. Ernie grabs his face as he screams in agony after attempting to snort Bert's glitter pie. In one single act of depravity, Ernie creates a Bertstrip using Comic Sans. This isn't the holidays, but one of Ernie's favorite holiday traditions is calling children and telling them Santa isn't real and they are the reason their parents aren't happy. Anselmo accepts his fate of being in the friend zone for now. Bert, Ernie, and the rest of the fans stare in disbelief as their beloved Diablo series is murdered right before their eyes at BlizzCon. This little witch being unable to sing the alphabet without saying Cooking Monster became the final reason why Kermit left the show. Elmo successfully hums the brown note, causing Natalie to Padme her amygdalas. Everyone looks in horror and disgust as Kermit orders his steak well done. Bert suddenly realizes they forgot Bort at the highway gas station. Bert silently stares at Ernie as he drinks a glass of milk while standing upside down. If Ernie can defy the laws of physics and gravity, who knows what other laws he's about to break? Ernie shows Bert the many joys of Splatoon hentai. Bert clutches his fist and breathes rapidly in pure rage. How dare someone say Skylanders is better than Spyro on an archived 4chan post made in 2013? Kermit is mere seconds of being thrown out of the car for even suggesting they should listen to anything other than Despacito. Bert is astounded as it turns out that astronomers were unable to locate all the dark matter because Ernie has been hiding it. Ernie swindles a blind man. Ernie could only listen in horror as his next door neighbor brutally murdered his wife. The Count betrays his sewer slide pact pal. They call him Master Chef for a reason. Ernie and the gang discover Bertstrips. It was only 48 hours, and the footage of Cookie Monster being lobotomized had become a viral sensation. Wait, no. Elmo realizes he's running out of furniture to pawn. Is this Grover speaking? What a nice mayor like you doing. What's a nice mayor like you doing in a place like this? Bert and Ernie try to make sense of the geometry of the porn actor's penis in a video they stumbled upon. Ernie slowly became insane after Bert left him alone on the moon without anything to survive. Bert and Ernie give Bort a thorough beating for throwing the wrong vote in the ballot box. Telly Monster made sure no one has knew no one he knew saw him enter the strip club. Big Bird desperately tries to hide his hookah when Gordon unexpectedly stops by for a visit. Ernie searches the Bible for more sins to commit. The sun cannot strike Elmo down, for he has some sort of ungodly protection. I told you laying that I-beam across the track was a good idea, Bert exclaims as he and Ernie eagerly watch the body count rise at the DuPont Amtrak derailment. Ernie's father tells him how much of a disappointment he is. When the Asgardian guards begin distracted by Bert's erotic dancing, Grover seizes the Tesseract. With an act of will, he erases Islam from history. Sick and tired of Trump's BS, Big Bird decides to take political matters into his own hands. Kermit forces out a loud fart. Kermit the J Frog offers free photos of Hollywood Boulevard pedestrians if they take a whiz on Trump's star. When Elmo invited everyone to come and play with each other's balls, this is not what he was expecting. Telly signs the contract, selling his immortal soul to the devil so that he can finally try getting a girlfriend. A crowd of onlookers gather as Elmo's plane ride takes a dark turn. Ernie calls a bomb towards school. After he failed to pay his debt for the last time, Ernie is forced to watch as the sheep mafia take Bert as their payment. The FBI snipers take Bert out. Big Bert's depression was becoming visibly noticeable. Bert and Ernie notice that the webcam is still live streaming them. Their scandal was aptly named Pirate Gate. Ernie was filled with chagrin to learn Cookie Monster had a bigger D. Mr. Johnson screeches and goes into a fit of autistic rage when Grover tells him they don't sell chicken tenders. Now, Elmo, don't ever crap in the tub again, or I'll come to haunt you, and I am a whale of my word. Grover has browsed DeviantArt long enough to know where this is going. Ernie and Bert do their second favorite hobby, doxing people they disagree with online. Already late on his commute, the Count floors through a crowd of BLM protesters blocking the freeway. Telly is horrified when his friend Ernie begins shouting surprisingly creative racial slurs at the black family being seated at the table next to. Okay. Bert hides as the singing and dancing begins yet again. Why was he the only one who found this unusual? Yeah, sorry, these things are a bit offensive to others. Are you really gonna let this Levitius guy come between us, Ernie? Elmo got a hold of Omega, one half of God's soul, and prepares to destroy it once and for all. The Count prepares to beat the absolute crap out of Cookie Monster for not having paid back the money he borrowed for his rent bill. Ernie shows off his latest kidney stone. Bert is distracted by a shiny bauble in which his VA benefits are taken away to pay for nonsense. Bert has failed yet again, but he knew one day he would find a young adult paranormal romance novel that was not terrible. After drinking one too many bottles of vodka, Grover realizes he can see clear through to the end of time. Ernie silently watches as Bert trembles with one of his nightly war flashbacks. Bert and Ernie were tirelessly playing landmines under the sand. Elmo finishes beating up another Wall Street bank. Bert looks at Ernie in disbelief as the laxatives that were slipped in his ice cream kicked in. Bert knew he shouldn't have trusted that far. Ernie watches as Bert attempts to explain how and why Pac-Man got Lyme disease. Bert proceeds to show Ernie all the tricks he will give this month. Cookie desperately tries to explain to Bert and Ernie how tic-tac-toe works, but his efforts are in vain. Bert was about to enjoy a night's sleep until his car alarm went off again. Ernie fails to hack a terminal for the 40th time, upsetting his scientifically inclined follower. Out of pure boredom, Grover and Kermit open the Pandora box, unleashing demons into the world to bring a fourth wondrous plague. Sure, it sucked being fired from Muppet Studios, but it was worth it as Kermit and his friends finally had enough free time to play Pokemon Go. Jim knew why Kermit had that face as he felt a warm spot that continually get bigger. You, you know, Bert, since I was a kid, whenever it rained, I used to imagine that angels were lining up side by side in heaven trying to piss on me. And given my life has been up to this point, I don't think it's much of an exaggeration. Ernie argues with the doctor over whether he saw it was a ghost or a hallucination courtesy of his medication side effects. Thinking that his country was letting in too many immigrants, the Swedish chef decides to take matters into his own hands. Ernie wonders if this is all there is to life. Ernie gives Bert space after admitting to him he has long since defaulted on every student loan Bert co-signed for. After hacking into Clinton's email, Elmo has seen more than he ever intended to know. Finally sick and tired of a loveless fake world, Bert walks into a busy freeway to end it all. Bert overhears Ernie calling Jake from State Farm at 3 a.m. in the morning. Everyone is already lining up when the Count drops his soap. After taking some nitrous oxide, Ernie's pupils disappear. Murray laughs in absolute satisfaction when he tells Adam that he is pissed in the cold. As Bert comprehends that he has been poisoned, Ernie's smile grows and grows until he is laughing. Ernie shows Bert the superior quality of Dr. Dre's beef. Ernie runs up to Bert and shouts at him the most important plot twists in the book Bert is just reading. Bert is paralyzed in fear as the sight of an open umbrella indoors. Ernie regrets the decision to face his demons. I don't know if I. Okay. This raid is gonna be the last one. Mr. Johnson overhears a domestic incident next door and is forced to call 911. Bert and Grover severely regret forgetting to knock. Bert and Ernie have successfully evaded the police once again. Okay, this is gonna be the last one. I gotta go. Oh well. It was great reacting to my favorite humor, so bye.